didn't know how she was going to pay her daughter's tuition because they made too much money for her to get grants and all of that. And I began to speak this word. She's my administrator, so they travel with me. That particular day, when I preached this word a few weeks ago, she jumped up. She was the first one to snatch an envelope out of my hand. And by the next day, somebody walked into the tuition office and paid a $56,000 debt. She came to visit me last week. And God gave me a prophetic word. I said, this is the day and the month of contracts. I said, the Holy Ghost said, go to the dealership today. We were supposed to work. She got up and got dressed. She said, I'm going to be obedient. She said, my credit ain't good, but I'm going to be obedient. She came back with an Audi truck in her name and didn't have no 700 credit score. And the man looked at her and said, I done been through what you've been through, and I'm going to help you and give you a chance. You don't hear what I'm saying to you. The month of September is the month where the Lord said, I'm going to give you a chance. Somebody ain't saying nothing. Now, where I got to come from is this, and I need you to hear this. Gideon, the Bible said, when he heard what they were prophetically saying about his destiny, he began to bless God. And he began to prepare an army, not because he had won the battle yet, but because he heard that God was going to give it to him. In my church, everywhere I go, everywhere, stay right there. Matter of fact, stop playing. Just stop playing. And I said that because in my church, I teach the people that when it's time to walk in destiny, you don't do that with your emotions. When it's time to walk in destiny, the music don't have to coerce you. Because my destiny becomes a solid decision.
Yes, yes it does.
And I make a choice to agree with God.
Yes.
I'm not hearing nobody talk back to me. I'm not hearing nobody talk back to me. Mother, you make a decision that I'm going to try and trust God. Jesus. When God spoke that word, listen to this, to Gideon. Now this is going to bless you. Gideon was the only person in the Bible that when God spoke a prophetic word and told him he was going to give him the victory, Gideon said, Lord, I want you to wait right here because I'm going to get you a seed. Because I want to put some on the altar. Gideon was the only person in the Bible that the Lord replied to him and said, go, and I will wait for you. No, you didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. He was the only person that God said, because of the intent of your heart and what you're getting ready to do, I'm going to wait right here. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to wait till you come back. Y'all better come on here. Somebody better say something. Somebody better say something. And wait, why did the Lord say I'm going to wait right here? Because Gideon understood this. All I needed to do was hear that I was going to get the victory. And I'm going to sow into what I heard. And every month, since the Lord put me on his calendar, on Fridays, I don't care where I am in this world. I don't care if I'm in Africa. I don't care where I am. I carry a suitcase with me that's completely set up like a communion table. That don't nothing go in it but the communion of the Lord. And on Fridays at 5:30, I set the table up and light the candles and set the communion up, and I set the shallah bread up. And I got it on my phone, the direction of the wall of Jerusalem, and I turn east and I get on my knees and I pray. And I declare with God that I'm sitting in the holy day with God. Are you hearing me? And I do that until 6 p.m. the next day. And if I'm not preaching, I lay down in the presence of the Lord and give God that time. And ever since I start doing stuff according to the Lord's calendar, my life changed. The enemy couldn't hold nothing else from me. I walk in blessings and they overtake me. Every time I look around, God is surprising me with something else. I'm not hearing nobody talk back to me. Because what I did was, I understood that my lifespan on the earth's calendar had expired. And the only way to renew my policy is to get on a different calendar. And now the Lord has done what man said would not be done. Now God has did what people said would never happen. Now I'm turning down the television stations. Now I'm telling them I can't come. I can't come this week. Well, can you come next week? Well, can you come the next week? And I'm saying, God, what is this? It's as if the ministry just started all over again. He said, because you on my calendar. And in this building tonight, let me tell you this. It may seem like a small thing to you. But in my church and everywhere I go, the miracles that I have seen is unspeakable. And that's the reason why last night I could walk out of this building and I didn't have to ask you for an offering. Do you know why? Because if the Holy Ghost is not saying that I have a window open for them to sow it in the spirit, I can't touch it. I'm not that kind of evangelist and prophetess anymore. I don't raise an offering because it's offering time. Sometimes I go to meeting, it be 2 and 3 nights, and I can't. And the Lord said, don't. And then people want me to come for 2 and 3 days. I was just in California, and the lady wanted me to come for 2 or 3 days. I said, I can't. She said, well, can you come for 2 days? I said, I can't. She said, well, okay, but then it's the week of Rosh Hashanah. When can you come? I said, Friday. She said, that's the only day you can come. I said, that's the only day I can come. And man of God, let me say this to you. I was in that church, and I was preaching, and she can tell you, it was less people in that building than in this building right now. And what people don't understand, that I now get in the spirit, that the Holy Ghost, he holds the reins, and he knows who his appointed people are. And you can't ask a foreign nation for a spiritual thing. And man of God, they was in the building 2 and 3 days before I got there. And they was having their conference and they was preaching. And preachers was coming and they was preaching. And when I got there, this is what they said. The people that just about gave out. I was standing on the floor and I began to minister. And while I was ministering, when I got to the end of the message and the Lord led me to take the offering, I started taking the offering. And people started coming to give what the Lord told them to give. And I began to talk about the 107 seed. And Pastor standing there, I began to walk the floor in the pulpit. And just as I began to walk, sister, The Holy Ghost whirled me around, and there was a Caucasian man sitting there. But he had got up and went out, and I said, where is the man that was sitting here? And they said, he left. I said, somebody go get him. They ran down the hallway, and they said, the prophetess want to see you. I said, I got a word for him. When he came back, I said, I don't know you. And I said, I don't know nothing about you. I said, but God told me to tell you that you're supposed to sow a seed. I said, and that seed is going to be a seed that's going to birth you over to where you're trying to go. I said, there's some stuff that you're trying to do. I said, and you're hindered. So I walked away from him, and I didn't say nothing else. He got up out of his seat and came around to where the host was, and he whispered something in her ear, and she shook her head okay. And so when he went back to his seat, the Holy Ghost whirled me around. I said, God said it's $100,000. The man looked at her and he said, that's what I just said to her. And in one night, he gave $100,000. And with less people than in this building, the Holy Ghost raised $120,000. Why? Because y'all counting, but God ain't. God can use one person. I'm not giving y'all. I'm not giving y'all. Do you understand that the Lord don't need everybody's money? All he needs is for one person to be obedient to his will. And that's why I understand this, that I stopped looking at people and counting people. Because let me tell you something, counting is a spirit. And when you start counting, you're going to count God out. I'm not giving y'all talk, because counting don't know when to stop. The spirit of counting don't know when to stop. And why are you looking around thinking that you need this and you need that? God already done handpicked the person that's going to bless you. That's why he told Gideon, you got too many people. You trying to do what I want you to do, but I don't need all of what you think I need. All I need is for a few people. A few people. God said, I don't need everybody in here. Give me some envelopes. All I need is a few people. And a good thing that I love about it, because since he done blessed me, he done blessed me. He done blessed me so much. So much. So I don't have to preach to pay my bills. I can preach in this building every night, and I don't have to raise an offering, because that ain't how I survive.